We're back. Brand new episode of the Roarcast. I know everybody's been waiting for a new episode. I'm Mike Kowalski, joined by Kyle Matrician, presented by Jag One Physical Therapy.
That's right.
So welcome back. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I've seen you.
Yeah, we've seen each other. It's not like we
the
haven't seen
people
each other.
haven't seen us together in a few weeks. So.
It's been a while since we've been on the Twitch.
I did a whole shave and it all grew back already. So that's how long it's been.
Missed Kyle not having a beard, but we've been taking a little bit of a pause. We've been a little bit sensitive to our men's golf team competing at the Doc Gimler a few weeks ago, and then we had commencement week last week. So, but we're going to be back. We're going to finish out our spring sport coverage. We're going to have a good episode today with women's golf.
That's right. And we also had our students before graduation studying for their finals.
Of course.
And then finals week. So we had we took an unannounced break.
Yeah. Sorry to leave everybody hanging, but we're going to get back. We got two episodes lined up. So you're going to see us this week and next week for sure. Hope everybody enjoyed Pyramid last night, our season debut of that. Hopefully we have a few more episodes of that. And
I think that's going to be good. I'm pretty excited for the rest of this year. Pretty excited.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, and then we get to turn our attention to, the Olympics and getting ready for what we hope to be a fun fall competition season when we get back into action. So, good signs.
Mike, before you know it, we'll be back in the office doing this.
Yeah. Well,
I might just keep the virtual background anyway.
Of course.
We should just record from our cubes and we'll just keep the virtual background.
Yeah. We're going to have to anyway. We still have to remain socially distant.
That's true.
No, but it's been I was on campus today, went to the Baker and the Dodge Fitness Center and ran a few errands and picked up a few things and met our new assistant field hockey coach. Got to see, our baseball coaches and Pat DeSeer, our guest co-host at times.
Columbia employees in person. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then went down to Dodge and saw a few more people, Joe Quinlan, Jackie Blackett, and it's just starting to, feel like a little bit more normal. It's we're getting closer.
You told me you were going to go to Park Terrace Deli. Did you, in fact?
I didn't do that. I didn't follow through on that. I wasn't quite hungry at the time I needed to make the move from Baker to Dodge. So, but next time.
All right.
There's open space. Maybe me and you will work a day at Baker next week and we'll do that.
Maybe I'll just work permanently at Baker, Mike. Maybe I'll just set up my own workspace, I'll be like Nelly from The Office. I'll just squat in a room.
It's a good plan.
And if I sit there long enough, it just becomes my office.
It's a great plan.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to see where we're going to be working from. Either at Baker or Dodge, or not at our actually regularly scheduled desks. So stick around for that.
All right. Well, I think there's no better time than now to throw it to break. And when we come back, we'll have Jennifer Wang joined by Donnie Stevenson.
That's true.
If you're a Mets fan, you understood that joke. No, we'll have Jennifer Wang, junior on the women's golf team when we come back. So stick around.
At Athletic Brewing Company, we've built America's first craft non-alcoholic brewery. We've created a lineup of award-winning non-alcoholic beers. Our beers are made with organic grains and start at only 50 calories. Athletic beers are perfect for anyone who loves being healthy and active, but also loves to enjoy a great tasting beer with friends. To give us a try, go to athleticbrewingcompany.com and use code ATHLETIC20 for 20% off your first order.
We all know what comes with being a fan, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. Share a Coke with a friend. Coca-Cola, the official beverage of the Columbia Lions.
We take care of the whole recovery process, getting them back to the level they were before they got injured, and many times even better. What's involved is preserving dreams.
The first thing I do with any athlete is figure out their goals and then try to make a plan based upon that.
One of the things that people don't quite understand about team physicians is how invested we are in these people's lives. We don't look at you as a guy with a shoulder problem. We try to understand what it is that makes you tick.
Welcome back to the Roarcast, presented by Jag One Physical Therapy. First episode in a few weeks, but we're happy to be joined now by our guest, Jennifer Wang from the women's golf team, a rising senior now. She said she can't believe it when we were talking before we came on the podcast from Solon, Ohio, but she said she's joining us from New York, still near campus. So how is the city, Jennifer?
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great as always. Yeah, this semester I've been around New York, last semester too, so it's been nice just to be in our familiar city.
Do you have any plans to go home this summer, or are you in New York all summer?
So I guess for this May, we just finished finals, right? I'll be going to Florida to play some golf, hang out with some friends, and then after that, I'll go home to Ohio for 2 weeks before coming back to New York City.
Nice.
Nice. So what's it been like, this year has been a kind of a whirlwind. Can you believe it's been over a year with remote classes and, all that stuff? What's been the feeling of, seeing how things have progressed throughout the spring even?
Yeah, it's been crazy to say the least, just to see the progression of everything and how far we've come along as a country, as in our whole life, and just how things have really changed, whether it's for worse or for better. I think we learned a lot through it. Being here in the city, it's, I guess, been uplifting to see just like testing, very convenient testing protocols, and then from there on, like the vaccine rollout. That was really exciting news, and got my appointment time at Learner as soon as I could, told my friends to get it. So now I'm double vaxxed, Pfizer. So yeah, it's great. It feels like we're heading back to what we perceive to be normal. But yeah, I'm excited.
Mike, Team Pfizer. I'm Team Pfizer. Are you Team
Yeah.
Pfizer, Mike?
Yeah, we're all Pfizer here.
All Pfizer.
Yes.
So I have to ask you. So you've had both doses, you said, right?
Yes.
Double vaxxed. Did you get the day after second dose? Like I don't even know if you call it a hangover or what. It knocked me out.
Honestly, yeah. Definitely some hangover type thing. Like I felt so fatigued, my muscles were sore. But I'm happy I didn't get a fever or anything more than that. But honestly, it was just a lot of fatigue, so I stayed in bed for like most of the day.
Yeah, it was crazy to me. So I got mine in like the middle of the afternoon, the second dose on, I forget what day it was, and then I was fine that night. I was fine the next morning, and then all of a sudden, it was about 24 hours later, I was out, and I was like, man, I am really tired. And then I got home and I was like dizzy, and I was like, I need to lay down.
Yeah. Knocked you out.
Yeah. For me, it was just like, I just felt very I felt like in a fog the day after. And it wasn't like, I wasn't super tired. I didn't take a nap or anything, but like, I just kind of felt like a cloud over me. And then like 5 o'clock the next day, I was just kind of sitting down and just kind of like washed over me. Like it was kind of almost like instantaneous. It was a weird feeling.
That's interesting. Like instantaneous.
I don't know
if
if
it came on or that it went away.
It went away. Like it washed.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like
that's interesting.
Yeah. It was very like instantaneous when I was like, oh, I feel like myself again. It was, I don't know. It's great. It's been great over, since then. And, in the grand scheme of things, when you take those side effects over the alternative every day.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. And I'll feel a lot safer golfing this year, which is why I'm glad we have Jennifer on our podcast. Jen, I like to golf. If it's the weekend, I didn't last weekend, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But I love to play. You would destroy me on a golf course. It's fun.
Did you pick it up during COVID or?
No. I played in high school. I was actually on my high school team, but I was like number 5 or number 6 on like a not very great high school team. So, yeah, I was like probably shooting in like for 9, because you in high school. Is it the same way for you? You played 9 holes.
Yeah, 9-hole matches in high school golf.
Yeah. So I would, on a like good day, I'd be in the 40s, but then on a most days when I was in high school, granted this is like more than 10 years ago now, I'd be in like the low 50s. So now,
and that's what I'm at today. So don't feel so bad.
That's what Mike said today. I've been driving the ball so well this year. I'm like, it just helps so much when you can put the ball in the fairway off the tee.
Yeah.
It's just because if you can't keep the ball on the course, basically off the tee, it's like it just kills you.
That's so true. My coach knows that I love my driver, and if my driver's not going well, the rest of my game doesn't feel as confident. That's just how I am. But I love making sure it's in the right placement from the get-go.
Now, do you hit a little draw, a little fade? Do you pretty much just hit it straight?
I guess ideally I'm just like a straight hitter, but my tendency and my go-to shot would be baby draw.
Yes. Oh, baby draw. That's like on your drives or on all your shots?
On all of my shots, basically, yeah.
Nice. I have a hard time drawing my irons. This is what we're gonna do now, Mike. Sorry, we've taken over.
Okay.
I have a hard time drawing my irons. I feel like with my irons, I'm probably gonna hit a fade if I hit it well. But with my driver, when I was in high school, I hit it, and that's when I learned how to play.
Yeah.
I hit a ridiculously bad. It wasn't a fade; it was a slice. And I would just play the slice, right? Because I was like learning how to play, and I was like, well, I'm just going to aim 50 yards left and know that it's hopefully going to come back. And I when I was in college, I so badly wanted to get rid of that I like taught myself how to hit a draw, like just like by looking at videos and knowing like, all right, I've got to try and come in to out on the swing. And I, know what you got to do with the club head. And now my miss is a bad hook instead of if I miss the drive, which is fine, which is what I generally prefer. So
yeah. With the draw, I think you get an extra distance, and with
on the bounce too. On the bounce, because it's got topspin on it instead of backspin. So especially if you hit like a a good draw, not if you pop one up, but
Yeah.
All right.
How far do you hit your drives? I want to know.
I hit my drive, like I would say average 240, and a good drive would be like 245, 250 maybe if it's dry.
Okay.
Carry it, I would say like 225, 230.
Okay. I feel like we're pretty comparable then. That makes me feel pretty good. You probably outdrive me most of the time.
Kyle, you didn't finish second at the Ivy League tournament in 2019.
No.
Like Jennifer.
Let me be clear. A good drive for me goes 230, 240 range, right? If we're taking all the other variables out, right? It doesn't always happen nearly as consistently as it happens for Jennifer. That's the key. Jennifer is much more consistent than your average golfer.
So you see, I was trying to slyly transition back to you and not Kyle's golf game. So
I just want to talk about my golf game. I'm here to just sponge
don't give
everything
golf
from
tips,
Jennifer,
okay?
and then I can go out there and use it.
I love the passion. I'm here for it.
So let's get back to you for 1 second, and we'll go back to whatever tips.
As long as we come back,
all that stuff. Yeah, we'll get back there. I'm sure we will, because we just go in circles here. So you came on the scene as a first year. You had a really strong year in 2018-19. Walk us through your season, and how confident were you going into that Ivy League championship? And was it a little bit of a surprise for you how well you played there?
Yeah. Wow, it's crazy to talk about, because that was, I guess, my last full Columbia season, and now I'm a senior, and that was when I was a freshman, which is one of the shocking things that I don't know, maybe we'll get into later. But hopping from freshman year to senior year, it's kind of a process to take in, I guess. But I'd say going into college, I was really excited to finally compete with a team. Prior to college golf, it's always been like very independent. You kind of have your own tournament schedule, and I really got to understand what it meant to be on a team, and it really does make a difference who I surround myself with and how my teammates are. And it really made me learn how to be a good teammate and like understand the values in that. And I guess in the fall, it was just, I was learning more things about my golf game than what I had expected. Honestly, my golf game got a lot more consistent after like entering college golf. Coach Weeks, she helped me tremendously with course management and just like controlling like the shape of my shots, as me and Kyle were mentioning beforehand. But going into the spring, it was interesting because we got to do our international training trip to Portugal that year. So 2019, we were in Portugal for 10 days, I want to say. And that was an incredible, like world-class experience. We were definitely like, it was a good trip. It was a once in a lifetime experience, got to play beautiful courses. And I think that was very impactful to how I performed in the season for the spring, because I got to play on grass in like somewhere that was relatively warm. And growing up in Ohio, I was always used to taking the winter off, which wasn't that big of a transition going into college golf, but it was, I guess it made me more prepared for like the winter season. But then going to Portugal, playing golf on grass, it was like a good like way to get back into it, because our first tournament of the spring season always happens like mid to end February. And I guess going into that tournament, the first tournament of the season, I played a lot better than what my previous years in high school, when I would have my first tournament back right after like a winter season. And I was like, okay, my training, my practice with the team indoors on turf is really paying off, even though it's hard to tell with like a simulator or just on turf, like practicing chips and putts. It clearly like the training and like, I guess like maybe the muscle memory was making like it was showing up, which made me excited. And that was good momentum going into our spring break training trip and our following tournaments. Yeah, and I guess you were mentioning like how I felt going into the tournament. I really didn't know what to expect, because we had maybe one tournament, the Princeton Invitational in the fall, which was solely like all the Ivy Leagues were there. But then the other tournaments we kind of travel about, and it's like different schools, maybe like one or two of the league will be there, but not everyone. So I really hadn't seen like everyone compete and what everyone was doing. And being a freshman, I had no idea like what the talent was. So after the first round, I was leading, and that kind of caught me off guard. And I was like, whoa, like I really have a chance here. And I don't know, I guess I at first I was shocked, but I knew that the work that I had put in was building up. And I think coach kept on reminding me that like when we were practicing and our tournaments leading up to the championship, she was like, you clearly have worked hard every single practice. Like you show up, you come with the right mentality. You're not just there to like show time. You're there to work.
Golf, it's a kind of a different animal too, because sometimes a course plays into a player's strength. Did you feel like that course really played into what you were doing at that time, or talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, the course was called the Ridge at Backbrook. Absolutely love that course. Obviously, I might be biased because I played well there. But I think in the practice round, my coach, and even going into it, or mid practice round, my coach was like, wow, this course, like you play it well, because there are a couple holes that it worked in my favor. Like we were talking about ball shaping, like having that draw, it helped. And it was slightly longer, and I'm a pretty long hitter, I would say. So all in all, like I think just it was a course that I felt comfortable on, and I felt like I could shoot low, put myself in the position to make birdies and post a score that was competitive. But yeah, I actually the championship for 2020 championship would have been there. This spring, obviously, like we didn't really, I don't think they like determined a location, but we do know that for 2022 championship, so my senior spring, we will be back at the Ridge at Backbrook, which I am super excited about. Just good memories and hoping to perform well there again.
I was going to ask, did you play there before the 2019 Ivy League championship at all?
I have never played there before. Brand new course, but
you obviously get a practice round. Is it a one day? Is it a one? Just the day before?
Yeah, just the day before the 3-day competition.
Gotcha. Did you know during that practice round? I mean, it was a couple of years ago now, and you were a freshman or first year. But did you have a good practice round before the tournament started? Do you remember?
I'm trying to think back on it.
And I know sometimes during the practice rounds, you kind of like, I don't know if you're keeping score or not, but you like take multiple shots in certain locations, and you're afforded to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say nothing really special happened in the practice round. For me, I don't really keep track of score. I'm really just trying to like get a feel for it. If I keep track of score, sometimes it like messes up like mental game wise.
Yeah.
And I just remember practicing around the greens a lot. Our coach kept on emphasizing that, making sure you can make up and downs when you need to. Yeah, nothing really special stuck out. Just I liked the course, thought it was nice, liked the layout, was just having a good time with my teammates, because in our practice rounds, all like 5 of the lineup, we play in one group.
Got it. And you touched on Coach Weeks a little bit, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about, for those that don't know, about playing for her and what it's been like, especially this last year during the pandemic?
Yeah, just in general about her, or just
okay. Yeah, we'll start in general, and then we can follow up with anything specific we want to know more about.
Yeah. So Coach Amy Weeks, she is, I mean, she has been amazing. She's so passionate about the game, and she's so passionate about her players and her players performing well, not only on the golf course, but really all aspects of life. That's something that I really appreciate about her. She really tries, she's all about character. I think that's her main thing. And that goes a long way, I think, beyond score and just beyond golf. She talks about character a lot and us being good human beings. And just she's a really great coach and has made me grown in tremendous ways as a golfer and also as a human being. Just teaching me important life values and just, yeah, all around great. And I think in terms of touching upon like this past year, because I opted in to practice and everything, I've seen her a lot. I'm the only woman golfer like from the women's team that's back. So we've had like one-on-one time for at least this past week, like every day we see each other. And for the past, I guess since February, end of February, when we were able to do athletic activity, I've been able to see her, talk to her, really speak about things that maybe you can't really do in a group setting, but have really enjoyed the one-on-one time because she has a lot to offer. Yeah.
Wanted to ask, since you came to college, like, what do you think has been the biggest improvement in your game? And maybe Coach Weeks has been a part of that improvement.
Yeah.
Like, if you can like remember back to being a high school senior now that you're a college senior.
Yeah. Like I said, I think my game has improved in terms of consistency, but the specifics into that feeds into that consistency would be course management, controlling my shots, not just trying to hit it as far as you can, which I like to do. But she taught me that maybe on a par 5, like you don't want to go for it, or like just use your 3-wood as soon as you can. Maybe you place it to a yardage where you know your third shot you'll have a good approach in because that's the approach shot that you're comfortable with. She's really just taught me how to be smart on the golf course, whether that's hitting a different type of shot when the wind is blistering, which definitely helped me in numerous tournaments, both in college and also when I play AM events like outside, that's like non-collegiate affiliated. And mental game wise, I think has also improved in terms of accepting what has happened and just moving past that and keep on going, that go-getter mentality, especially in team golf. One stroke, even like if you get a triple on a hole versus a double, that one stroke does make a difference, because it adds up. Yeah, just
I'm taking notes.
yeah, I don't know. I definitely have learned a lot, and it's like a lot to soak in, and I'm grateful for every moment of it. And like every time I can have a conversation with Coach, I know I'm learning something. Maybe I don't realize it in the moment, but I know like down the line when I look back onto it, I'm grateful.
They say you play basketball, you play football, you play tennis, but you can't play boxing. You have to fight. I remember the night where it went completely downhill. It was a massive tumor that had wrapped itself around my spine. Dr. Hartle, who was my surgeon, he aced it. They resurrected me. On August 9th, 2014, I became the WBA middleweight champion of the world.
John, we're outside of Jag 1. Tell us why this place is so important to your patients.
We're serving New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania as an outpatient physical therapy and occupational therapy center. We've worked very hard in the last 2 years to bring us close to 100% in-network in all our facilities. We treat every type of pathology and illness and surgical intervention, taking that patient's needs and building the rehab program around that goal and attaining the goal.
I've got to ask this question.
Yeah, go for it.
Because sure, people, I don't know if I'm sure you've been asked this question before. Have you ever hit a hole in one?
Oh, this question. Okay. I have never hit a hole in one, which for me is very frustrating just because I've come so close. And I would say like the strong part of my game is my like it's my irons. Like when I'm playing well, my irons, I can stick it close and
your
make
long irons or your short irons?
All
of them.
I mean, obviously, like shorter irons are easier to stick it close, but I think overall I'm a solid iron player. And if I'm playing like solid and I feel confident, I knock it in close. And birdies don't really come from miraculous putts for me. It's more so about me giving myself lots of opportunities to have one putts if I'm not going to two putt it. So I've like stuck it close in within like a 3-foot radius or 2-foot radius, but have never actually had a hole in one, which is unfortunate.
It'll happen. I haven't had one either. I have come so close. I know. I feel like if you haven't had a hole in one, you always have like that. I've come so close.
I know.
Like I was like I don't know if I was in high school. I forget, but it was like within like a foot or a foot. It was like a tap in, and I'm like, it happened. I know. What's the like the furthest distance that you've like ever put it in the hole, like hold out from?
Hold out from?
Yeah.
It was actually in a practice round. I think it was like I want to say like 140.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. Would you make like an eagle or something?
Yeah, it was an eagle, but it was during a practice run, so it didn't really count.
I mean, but it counts for your ego.
That's true.
Your pride.
I didn't see it go in. I like got onto the green and the ball disappeared. I'm like, where did it go?
You know how many times, when you walk up to the green and it's kind of like a blind shot into the green and then you don't see the ball immediately. And it's so funny how often even my first reaction is just, is it in the hole? And then you like casually walk by the hole and like look down you don't want to.
It's like that heart attack of like, oh, did my ball like go OB? Like if there's OB in the back, or oh, perhaps like I don't know, I got lucky and it's in the hole.
Yeah, I just want a quick plug to my game.
Back
to me. I let it go for a while. No, I let it go for a long time.
You need to come watch us play whenever we're like close by.
Jen, maybe I'll be the golf SID coming up soon. I would love it. The problem is I wouldn't get any work done that way. I actually used to cover. I used to work at Wofford College and I covered the men's and women's golf teams.
We play Wofford's tournament.
I used to help run that tournament.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's
low country intercollegiate.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Our spring break is there since I was a freshman, that was where my spring break.
I think Columbia came there, if I remember correctly. It wouldn't have stuck out to me when I worked there, but and I hold out twice last fall from like both. It was from the same distance both times. It wasn't. It was like my favorite club in my bag is my gap wedge. Love my gap wedge. I will always use it if I'm inside 100 yards. I will just always use it, no matter what kind of shot I'm playing. And I hold out twice from, I think I was about 60 yards both times. And I like watched it go in both times and it was amazing.
That's amazing. Thanks. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Quick plug.
I'll need to see it though in real time.
Okay. Well, where are we playing, Jen? You tell me. You can probably get me into some nicer courses than, Hendricks Field Golf Course in Belleville. So
it was actually funny today. I was telling Kyle earlier, I was on campus today. I saw Coach Weeks for a minute and Peter Pilling, our athletic director, was out there and Peter was struggling with something on the golf course while he was fundraising or something like that. And Amy was, he was just a little hard time, but like, she was actually trying to help him a little bit. He was trying to explain like his grip or something. And Jackie Blackett walked out and she's like, don't be giving those tips for free. That's $150 an hour. Like,
yes. I was like, I had practice with Coach and that was right before. And she was telling me how Peter Pilling has been playing a lot of golf and she was trying to give him some tips.
We'll see if they work. But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would love to see Peter play golf. If he's been playing a lot, I want to see the improved swing. I haven't seen any swing, so it wouldn't look improved to me, but... Have you seen Peter play before?
I have not. I think he came to watch one day, but I haven't seen his swing. Hopefully we'll see it one day.
He's like a tall, lengthy guy, so I feel like he could get a lot in that swing.
Yeah.
We'll see. I've seen his baseball swing though, so I don't know. At a softball fundraiser.
Oh, okay. feel like baseball and softball, the swing will make you probably like either hook it type thing. They have a lot of swing speed, so you can probably hit it far.
You know what I did? Speaking of swing speeds, this past winter, again throwing it back to me here because I just love this golf podcast that we have.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
And we
this.
get
Mike,
and we get
before
to do and we
before
get to do it again next week too, because we're gonna have
gosh, it's gonna be
men's team.
oh god, I'm
It's gonna be
so in my
terrible.
comfort zone right now.
You're gonna be unbearable.
Are you speaking with Arjun or John?
Arjun right now, hopefully John too.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to me. I did indoor golf for the first time this past winter because you don't think I would have never thought about that stuff pre-pandemic, but like I started looking into like some indoor golf places in the winter because you could like be spaced out in there and you're in your own little booth and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I got to like get all those measurements, like your swing speed, like the thing that you're so used to having, I'm sure, at the Columbia facilities. But it was cool for me to be able to see all that information, ball speed, launch angle, all that.
With a TrackMan or
with a what?
A TrackMan is just like a tech device that gives all those numbers.
So I went to like 2 or 3 different places. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I forget the name of the program too.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it though. It was fun. Good information. Really informational.
Very good information. The numbers are good, especially, I mean, for me, I'm like a very detail-oriented person, so I like looking at that stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. Definitely fun to look at. And then for me, I'm sure your clubs are fitted, but mine are not. So, I at some point I need to get fitted clubs. So because I have a huge problem hitting long irons because I'm a shorter guy.
Gotcha.
And so like most standard clubs are like especially once I get to the long irons, are a little bit too long for me, and the lie angle on the club face is like heel into the ground because the clubs are too long.
I know. Yeah, you got to get the correct cuts and then the correct angle adjustments and everything.
Yeah. So my next set of clubs, it's been like 8 years, so I feel like it's coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
What are you swinging? I don't know if we're allowed to plug this, so I don't know, but just tell me anyway. What kind of clubs do you hit?
I mean, there's no secret to that. I play TaylorMade mostly. My wedges or my TaylorMades are 790s, and then my wedges are like Titleist Vokies, and my putter is a Titleist Scotty Cameron.
Nice. What's your driver?
Driver's TaylorMade. Not the M6. That's my last one. It's the Sim, the Swing in Motion driver for TaylorMade. Nice.
That's cool. I have all Cobra clubs, but my clubs are, like I said, from like 2013. They're amp cells, and the technology is severely outdated.
Yeah.
So before we let you go, I wanted to talk a couple more things. Tell us, obviously your phased athletic activity experience is a little bit different from other sports. You're not a close contact sport. So what was that like when you were able to start going with coach, and what have you been working on to get you ready for senior year?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, I'm the only golfer from the women's team that's here, but at first, since it was cold and we couldn't really travel off campus, we weren't able to go out on a golf course. So it was mostly just us in the indoor facilities, which includes like our simulator. So we can see like a computer like in the ball, like moving, which is pretty good, but obviously not like the real deal. And then it was like putting on our big turf, which is like this big room where the squash courts are, but that was nice just to get a feel for the movement again. And then actually the 3 seniors on the men's team, they returned soon later. And then I was able to practice with other humans, teammates, which was really nice. Men's, women's team don't usually practice together, but they're good players. So it was really nice to have other people to feed off, like, just golf energy. And then when they came, it was also time where we could move out to the golf course because of phase activities and also just the weather being warmer. And we got to play 9 holes at this course called Moshaloo. Just hit around, get back into the feel of things, hitting off grass, definitely just getting back into it, I would say. And these last 3 weeks, we've been practicing more because I'll actually be playing in the U.S. Women's Open qualifier next Monday, May 10th. So obviously in prep for my senior year of college golf, but also in prep of this qualifier, which hoping to perform as best as I can. Obviously, I think even in the past 2 weeks, there's been a lot of realizations that I've been not as like competitive just because I haven't played tournament golf in a while. But it's like good that I'm making this realization now rather than like waiting until fall. And just I'm glad to be out there and give myself opportunities to improve and post scores, because you just need practice and reps in golf, at least for me.
So why don't you just give us a few details about where you're going to be playing, and you told us when it's going to be and when you head out there.
Yeah, the course is Spring Lake Golf Course. It's in Spring Lake, New Jersey. I think it's on the shore. And I'll be playing the practice round tomorrow, actually, with my teammate. She is Christine Schau. She's class of 2023, 1 year below me. So we'll be playing the practice round together tomorrow. And the qualifier itself is a 36-hole tournament within one day. So you play 18 holes, you maybe get 30 minutes break, and then you play your next 18 holes. That's next Monday. And my tee time is 9:08 a.m. And my dad will be caddying for me. He'll be on the bag. I'll have he'll be on the bag. So that'll be nice. Just lots of father-daughter time together on the golf course. Yeah.
That's great.
Did your dad teach you how to play? Who taught? I mean, if we want to go back.
He introduced me to the sport when I was 4 years old. And I guess like when he was trying it out, like my brother tried it out, and then they brought like me when I was like 4 or 5 years old just to play around the golf cart, play around. So he introduced me to the sport, and then I've always like practiced with him just because at home at our home course, like whenever he goes to the range, I'll go to the range, or whenever I go, like he'll come with me. He always grew up like I always grew up like with him coming to my tournaments and stuff. Definitely he is in love with the game, and that makes it all the better. But I'm excited to be back on the course with him.
Have you competed in that before?
I've played in the qualifiers maybe like 4 or 5 times. I always played out of the Pennsylvania location.
Okay.
It's definitely, I think prior to college golf, like you don't really play 36-hole tournaments. So that's why it's difficult. But now that I'm like stronger, I'm older, like mentally, like it's not as exhausting. We have 36-18 tournaments where we play 36 holes on Saturday, 18 on Sunday. So I feel more confident going into it for sure. And I guess I haven't played in the U.S. Women's Open, I haven't qualified for that, but I've played in a USGA event for the U.S. Junior Girls twice in 2017 and 2019. So before college and high school, and then again like summer after freshman year of college. And USGA, it's like top class events, which is always fun to go to. They do a wonderful job of organizing and hosting it. So
are you going to be playing in any other tournaments this summer, or you have any internships lined up? Tell us about your summer plans before you come back for senior year.
Yeah, so for the summer, I will be in New York City. I'm going to be interning at a investment management firm called Brown Advisory. Super excited to just get some work experience. But in terms of golf, I am planning on playing a couple of events. Still in the process of like solidifying that schedule, kind of need to email and balance out with the internship when I can take off. But I do want to compete in the U.S. Women's AM qualifier, which is later in the summer. And then also maybe 1 or 2 events, either in the middle of the summer or maybe like even in August right before we get back. Because once we get back, it's going to be go, go, go. We have I already know like all of our tournaments lined up for the fall, and really looking forward to just being there, competing there, posting scores, and making it like the best senior year and the best year of golf.
Yeah, for sure. I want to ask you before you go, what's the best golf course in your opinion that you've ever played at?
Oh, that's such a tough one.
You can give me a top 3 if you can't narrow it down.
Okay, in terms of experience, I went to St. Andrews when I was a senior, or right after graduation of high school. Nice. So that is the home of golf. So obviously the experience was just one of a kind, just everything about it, just being there, you could tell that there was a lot of history there. And then second, I would say Pinehurst. Growing up, Pinehurst is like golf paradise in the United States, I would say. Just so many golf courses, and that's where the U.S. Kids Golf League, they have their world championship there. Actually, in terms of Pinehurst courses, like it's within the resort, but I really like this course called Southern Pines there. Super gorgeous, pretty flowers. I liked it. And then I'm trying to think what other courses. I had to give a third one.
You said you went to Portugal and there were some beautiful courses out there, but I don't know if that makes the list.
All those courses were wonderful, but in terms of my favorite, I would have to go back to like probably a course in Ohio, just because I played so much golf there.
Yeah.
Maybe my home course is a very quirky one, and that will always hold a special spot in my heart. So I'll say that, but then we also have a sister course, which is wonderful, and I like playing that one much better.
I'll give them a plug. What's the name?
Fox Meadow Country Club and Signature of Solon Country Club. Those are my home courses in Ohio, I would say. Signature is where I predominantly practice, but I've played Fox Meadows a good amount of times. But yeah, I would say those 3 different locations are what I remember like as being my favorite golf courses.
Nice. I mean, the homey feel at the home golf course is nice.
Yeah, I've been there for like 15 years, so.
Wow. I recently moved to New Jersey, so like my 3rd year here, so I'm kind of like, I think I found what is now my what I would consider to be my home golf course. But
what's it called?
Francis Byrne
golf
course in it's actually, so it's it's a county course, because like I don't know if New Jersey has like county courses where you like sign up to get the county card and whatever. And Francis Byrne is one of the ones in Essex County, and there's only 3, but it's actually a really nice golf course.
Yeah,
they're redoing one of the other ones, so I could change my mind come July, but we'll see.
I like our home courses that we play for Columbia as well. They're both very nice and well maintained. I think one of them is a Pete Dye course, which is pretty cool.
You play at Van Cortlandt at Columbia or no?
No, we play at Mosholu is like our 9-hole course that like it's like easy.
I've driven by Mosholu so many times because it's right there. Like you can see it from like so many roadways. I didn't get to play it a lot, like honestly, before this year, but this past semester we've gone to it many times to just play 9 holes, and it's like really nice, just a good walking course, short, pretty easy. Not like the best thing in the world, but it's definitely like it does the job and it's nice. Yeah.
All right, Jennifer, thanks so much for taking some time this week. We're going to let you go now, but we want to wish you luck next week at your tournament, and we'll be following along. So make sure you follow at CU Lions W Golf for updates on how Jennifer's doing at the US Open Women's Qualifier next week. All right, Jennifer, thanks again. Good luck again, and it's been great talking to you and catching up.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. It was an absolute pleasure to talk about some golf, talk about Kyle's golf as well.
I know. Man, well, it was great, wasn't it?
And we got another week of this for me.
Can't wait till next week. Jen, if you want to come on next week,
maybe for research, me and Kyle will play like 18 somewhere, and then we'll discuss on
research only.
Research podcast. You think we can get reimbursed for that, Kyle?
We'll see. I don't know.
All right, so we'll be back next week with members of the men's golf team. You can find us right here on Twitch next Wednesday, or you can listen to this podcast or all the rest of our podcasts by searching for Columbia Athletics on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever you get podcasts. We are there. So for Kyle Matrician, I'm Mike Kowalski. This is the Roarcast presented by Jag1. We'll talk to you next week.